Okay, so looking at our examples here, we're going to do all of these examples together. We're going to use our graphing calculator to compare each g of x, which is the parent function, to the new function. So keep in mind that each of these g of x's, those are the parent functions. Notice how they're all the same. Okay, so we're going to use our y1 and y2 thing. So into y1, we're going to put our parent function x, and then into y2, we're going to type the second function f of x. So that's x plus 8. And we're going to look at these graphs, and we're going to look at how they changed. So keep in mind, if you end up with something like this and you can't see both graphs, that probably means that you need to play around with the zoom. Okay, so my parent function is that one in the middle. Compared to the one in the middle, the one up there, you can see that it kind of moved up. Well, by the equation, how many things do you think it moved up? 8. It moved up 8 units. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So the next one is y equals x and y equals negative x. Let's take a look at this. So this, when it kind of just flips it around, that's what that negative does, if you notice the negative in the equation. This negative is what's called a reflection. We are reflecting over this x-axis here. So that negative gives us a reflection over the x-axis. Okay, let's take a look at the next. Y equals x and y equals 4x. There's my original parent function. Ooh, and there's my new one. Still has that same starting point of 0, but you can see that it became more steep. So this one has a more steep slope. And that makes sense because if you take a slope of 1 and you multiply it by 4, you're going to end up with a bigger slope. You're going to end up with something bigger. Let's see what happens when we take that slope and we change it to something smaller, like a fraction. As you might have guessed correctly, that fraction in front of the x, that number being less than 1, is going to cause our line to have a less steep slope. And now, last but not least, in example number 5, we're going to have a whole bunch of different things happening. It's not just going to be one thing. It's going to be a combination of these things. So I've got a negative 2x minus 3. Okay, so let's see if we can pick out all the ways this line has changed. Well, first, I can see that it changed from a positive slope to a negative slope. So that's that reflection. That negative is that reflection over x-axis. And let's see, I can already see that it's more steep. That times 2 right there is making it more steep. And then the last little part, that minus 3 right there, is taking that y-intercept and it's shifting it or moving it down 3. Moving down 3 units. Boom. That's a great way of how you can use your calculator to compare functions.